Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatītam Gagana Sadrisham Tatvamasyadilakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatītam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adoration to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasishtha Nirvana Prakarana Purvardha, section 34. And Lord Shiva is giving enlightenment to sage Vasishtha. That's the storyline. And that setting is presented to you so that you can understand what you are being told is absolutely authentic. Because both ways you can't doubt Vasishtha's being qualified to listen. And who could be the teacher? Shiva himself. And the teachings are focused on practice of vichar, inquiry into who am I, leading to the revelation, Aham Brahmasmi. Entire process is vichar. And in order to reach that state, affirmations and assertion, you can simply use the word affirmation, which is enough. But affirmation has two aspects, bhavana and understanding. Bhavana stage, you visualize. You allow your feeling to define what God is, what truth is. And vichar aspect, buddhi aspect, or understand, not only just feel, but there is an understanding behind it. The feeling becomes shallow if understanding has not been ignited. Both are blended together like flower and fragrance. And that's the theme of what you are going to listen to. That's affirmation. Let your feeling create a divine imagination. And at your intellect level, understand. Allow your intellect to go through transformation. Not stay just intellectual, but become intuitional. And at the same time, never forget, this is the top spiral of your spiritual movement. You can't just come to that state unless you have practiced integral yoga in daily life with patience and persistence. So all aspects of yoga are implied. Brahman is all this Om is the symbol of Brahman. Om Upasana we have given insight into many times. Again, you have a repeat, because Gada Parinyaya is the nature of spiritual teaching. What you heard 2 days before or 20 years before, you are hearing again. It shouldn't be difficult to grasp. What you ate 20 years ago and what you liked, you still like it. But you may be more aware now of your physical health and your diet. Similarly, the teachings that you practice, as you advance, you understand those teachings from higher, advanced point of view. So with this, Om, just to give you a summary, the Sanskrit letter Om contains A, U, and M. A represents the waking state, which is physical body, awareness of the physical body. So, soul identified with the physical body is known as Vishwa. And A Upasana is to instill in your mind a deeper understanding that if you are a physical body, then you are the whole universe. Your body is not separated from the world. So, when you allow Vishwa identity to expand into Virat identity, identity with physical body is Vishwa. Identity with the universal body is Virat. Vishwa relates to Virat. So, with that, you begin your focus on A of Om. And the center that you choose is Manipur Chakra. As you advance, A melts in you. Physical awareness is never absolutely physical. It is a projection of the mind. Your mind is not there. How can you be aware of your physical body? When you say, I am physical body, understand physical body is not different from the mind. In other words, your subtle body, an aspect of mental body, identified with mind, our subtle body, you are known as Tejas. Greater is the strength of your mind, greater is the vigor that shines in your body. Tejas is that shining aspect. And now again, identified with individual's subtle body, you are known as Tejas. An individual subtle body is a wave in the ocean of cosmic subtle body, which is cosmic mind, known as Hiranyagarbha. So, it's you Upasana. Focus is at your heart center. And along with it, your affirmation is, if I am subtle body, I am at the same time the entire cosmic mind, cosmic subtle body, and allow your individuality to melt into that cosmic. So that's you Upasana. And as further advancement takes place, your vision goes to M, because even your subtle body doesn't have independent existence. It is always sustained by causal. So identified with your causal body, you are known as prajna. And prajna, macrocosmic aspect of prajna, is Ishvara. Ishvara is the ocean of causal body of the entire universe. And your causal body is a wave in that ocean. So, coming to that state, M aspect at Ajna Chakra, you develop that type of affirmation that I am subtle causal body, the type of body that experiences deep sleep and contains and becomes the support of subtle body and the physical body. In deep sleep, you are turning towards avidya in its sincere form. No, nothing. But in dream and in waking state, same avidya becomes spread out. All that you see in your dream is an expression of avidya, because nothing really is going to stay. And nothing really do you know about. Coming to waking state, you may feel that you know so much, so many things, but whatever you know is backed up by this much I know of this, but there is much I do not know. I do not know sustains all that you know. So that avidya has become insincere. In deep sleep, it is sincere avidya. But same avidya spreads out in dream state and in waking state. So, identified with that avidya, you are prajna. And prajna is ruled by wisdom, vidya. And the source of vidya is Ishvara. So, M aspect of Upa, A becomes O at the navel center, blended with U. O becomes Om, blends with Ma at Ajna Chakra. And then remains nothing but transcendental silence that represents your Sahasrara, the crown of the head. All those allegorical, don't beat your head over it. Thus saying, Lord Shiva closed his eyes and began to enjoy his blissful inner self. He entered into deep samadhi. He stayed in samadhi in the hermitage of sage Vasishtha for a short time. And all his attendants, along with his consort Gauri or Parvati, became the very embodiments of peace. Section 35. The Supreme Self as the progenitor of all gods. Progenitor means source. Source means he is the reality behind all gods. Brahman is the real reality, the real God, the absolute, behind all gods that you worship. So therefore, if you are turning to Brahman, speaking figuratively, you have pleased all gods and goddesses. And if you are pleasing gods and goddesses, your success lies in coming to the stage of revelation. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. And that's the highest form of worship. Lord Shiva said, O sage, collect your thoughts and direct them to the essence of your being. Now that highest form of worship is presented to you. Allow all your thoughts to go to the source. Who am I? What is the source behind all your physical, psychological, causal activities? What is the source? Who is the light of lights? Who is the doer? Who is the enjoyer? Who is the supreme subject? If you allow that vichar to go through it, that's the highest form of worship. That doesn't mean the lesser forms of worship you have to give up. No. This is the perfection of your worship in many stages. And all those stages you continue in order to be established in the highest stage. Just as the breeze conveys fragrance to the nostrils, so too, let your thoughts convey the knowledge of the self. It is pointing to the role of Shubha Vasana. Your thoughts are linked to Vasana. If Vasanas are impure, your thoughts also turn to impurity. Vasanas, think in an allegorical way, is like a garlic smell. Impure vasanas. If garlic smell is there in vasana stage, it will sneak into every thought that you hold in your mind. Thoughts are the most gracious elements in your mind, but they become all smelly. So all your thoughts go after negativity, led by Ashubha Vasana. But learn lesson from this. Just like Ashubha Vasana spoils your thoughts, Shubha Vasana elevates your thoughts. If Shubha Vasana begins to develop, Shubha Vasana, if Vasanas are purified, your thoughts, this fragrance of divine revelation, Ashubha Vasanas turn into Shubha Vasanas like a dark cloud, turning to silvery cloud. Once that change occurs in cloud, the light begins to flow, and the cloud itself begins to shine brighter. So that change occurs, and then your thoughts become inspiring thoughts, insightful thoughts. Your thoughts carry the breeze of divine fragrance. So try to figure out, when turning to your mind, to your thoughts, so to figure out the difference between garlic smell and sandal smell. Figure that out. When these thoughts have sandal smell, you experience peace, cheerfulness, inspiration. Collect your thoughts and direct them to the essence of your being. Just as the breeze conveys fragrance to the nostrils, so too let your thoughts convey the knowledge of the self. A sage who knows the self has seen all that is to be seen, has heard all that is to be heard, has perceived all that is to be perceived. This is the description of Param Tripti, supreme fulfillment. Your heart is always craving for fulfillment. But as long as you are bonded with karma, fulfillment comes and goes. You never have Param Tripti. Whatever Tripti you have is called Sankusha Tripti. Tripti with a condition. And it fades away. But revelation of the self, Aham Brahmasmi, there is absolute Tripti, Nirankush, no condition, no restriction involved. Now think of all the mind imagines for being happy and multiply it with infinity. You want to see a wonderful forest with beautiful creepers. That's your imagination of happiness. If it is, I'm giving samples. Now imagine that you have before you not limited forest. You don't go into it. The whole universe, all your consciousness is nothing but that forest. So you don't have to go in and out of it. Whatever fulfills your heart, if loving relation fulfills your heart, now Brahman is absolute love, absolute fulfillment. If money fulfills your heart, Brahman is absolute money, absolute wealth. So all that you dream of, Ujahi sab kamana tumhari. Whatever is your desire that points to your happiness, Brahman is absolute fulfillment of it. There is nothing desirable or undesirable for him. The question of desire and undesire, the question of raga and dvesha, like and dislike, does not arise. Param Tripti is absolute fulfillment. When you dream, there is always like and dislike. Certain things happen, you liked it. Certain things, you didn't like it. And everything goes on changing. But all the likes and dislikes of your dream vanish when you wake up. I'm just giving a simile of, in allegorical way. In the state of Param Tripti, there is no likes, no dislikes. When you are able to maintain mental balance during both desirable and undesirable conditions, you become a spiritual hero who by the sword of wisdom can rend the veil of ignorance. Therefore, subtle insight into sadhana, since the absolute truth is not in the realm of likes and dislikes. In your daily life, therefore, control your mind when things appear so likable. At the time of prosperity, at the time of great good fortune coming to bless you. And at the same time, stay balanced at the time when there is adversity, prosperity and adversity. And that's the definition of serenity. So don't wait for practicing serenity in future. But as you face different challenging situations, turn your mind to God within you, according to the level of your evolution. But Brahman is God of all gods. And to the extent you are able to hold your strengths while facing challenging situations. Both challenges are the challenge in a negative way when adversity comes, challenge in a positive way when prosperity comes. But both are challenges because you lose your mental balance. Not to let yourself fall for these challenges. Shake a little, but don't break at your root. Don't get baked. So that is to be practiced as a profound sadhana. O sage, hasten to unfold the vision of Brahman by the practice of listening, reflection and meditation. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan. These lead to Sakshatkar, self-realization. Shravan, listening. This is what you are doing, listening. But the more your mind is free of preconceived notions and narrow-mindedness, greater is the effect of listening. And listening provides food for your mind. Even what you have listened to in satsanga, you go home and whatever you are doing, you are as if chewing the cud. Learn lesson from the cows. Listening is to eat up, quick, 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 quick. But then followed by enjoying it. Manana, assimilated by your mental reflection. And when you have practiced reflection, you are coming closer to self-revelation. So that process becomes nididhyasan. Your mind begins to flow uninterruptedly towards the truth. Godward movement of the mind becomes perfectly secure, and you enjoy that movement. And it is like tail dhara, oil being poured uninterruptedly from one vessel to another. That movement of your mind is called nididhyasana, which in Raj Yoga terminology is samadhi of advanced order. None can attain his purushartha, the true purpose of his life, without taking recourse to the effort that leads to the knowledge of the self. Continuing this, Lord Shiva is giving insight into sadhana. And we have mentioned Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. the highlight of sadhana. Continuing to give more insight into manana. How will you assimilate the teaching you hear? And you do so by practice of affirmation. And what you have already explained to you, along with affirmation, your vichar movement becomes more and more effective. This physical body is moved by pranas. So start in your relaxed way, try to understand what is moving your physical body. Physical body is completely like any piece of stone, rock. But what's making the body so movable? From the toes to the head and every little part of your body. Pranas. Vital forces, in turn, are sustained by the functions of the mind. The vital forces, whether you study it in your body or in the whole universe, they don't dictate. There is a mental process behind your functions of prana. Every wind comes, there is a causation behind it. So all functions of your prana are not just without any reason. There is a purpose, there is a reason, there is a source of pranas. Who moves the pranas? The mind. And mind is permeated and sustained by pure consciousness. Though all-pervading, this consciousness, through its reflection on the intellect, becomes the basis of the perceptions of the objects of the world. You are being led to a prajnanam Brahma, worshipping that God. Where will you worship it? Your very consciousness is that divine self, absolute. But now try to understand when we say consciousness. When you dream, you are conscious of your dream. But when you wake up, that dream consciousness moves away and you become conscious of waking realities. When you go to sleep, even the dream consciousness, waking consciousness, both become transcended. And absolute consciousness is beyond waking, dream, deep sleep. A simple way to understand, when you look into your mind, think of pure awareness that remains unchanging, immutable, and all the things that you experience which are variable. And if you want to study deeper, you have to turn your attention to bhava pratyaya and pratyaya bhava. When you watch a show, your consciousness is involved in the show that presents past, present, and future. That consciousness that is aware of all this is bhava pratyaya, awareness of projection. And real consciousness is the screen. When all projections move away, absolute consciousness remains the same. And that's known as pratyaya bhava. One is presence of projection, another is absence of projection. And your essential nature is that absence of projection. It is the screen on which all this world experience has been projected by the chitta, by your mind stuff. That Brahman, that Prajnanam, pure consciousness, that is Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, the sustainer. Lord Brahma, the creator. Lord Shiva, the destroyer. It is the God of all gods. It is the all-permeating reality, absolute truth. Screen is the absolute reality behind all projections. It is the Lord of the heavens, like a sparks proceeding from a red-hot iron. These great souls, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, continue to proceed from pure consciousness, the greatest of all gods. From the absolute point of view, all these names and forms are products of avidya. As long as you are experiencing multiplicity, it is in the realm of avidya. And avidya is ignorance. In the realm of avidya, that you have the whole process of bondage to release. The release movement becomes the role of vidya. Vidya is the revelation of the truth. But as long as you are restricted in the realm of sadhana, you must know that your avidya has not been dissolved. O sage, these numerous souls, the world process containing numerous objects, the Vedas that guide the soul towards self-realization, the various mystic paths, the process of bondage as well as of liberation, all these are expressions of avidya. He who has realized pure consciousness, the greatest of all gods, is truly adorable. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. If you have realized Brahman, to know Brahman is to be Brahman. He becomes the soul of all souls, the sustainer and illuminer of all. When we call self-realization, it is not something that an individual gets it. It is a revelation of the truth. The truth is Brahman. So if you are self-realized, you are Shiva, you are Vishnu, you are all gods, you are past, present, and future. You are Brahman. And Brahman is all this. Screen is all that is in the projections. And that screen reality becomes your identity, which is not becoming an identity. You are essentially, you are that Brahman. And all this is nothing but Brahman. That's essential truth. Realize. Realize. Having worshipped the Supreme God with this transcended form of worship through the knowledge of the identity with the Supreme, your spiritual effort to identify yourself with the Supreme, that is described as the highest form of worship. By this worship, one brings about the cessation of the world process. His karmas are burnt up like roasted seeds in the fire of knowledge. He who confers fearlessness, who is the source of all beings, who is unborn and most adorable, he is your very self. Try to figure it out. It is not a news that you have become a millionaire. It's an indescribable revelation. And you have a little of this sniff of that revelation when you go into deep sleep. Everything that you are counting upon, dependent upon, simply moves away from in your experience. Nothing. And you come out of deep sleep with a sense of joy. So much so, people say, it was such a wonderful sleep. And what did you experience? Nothing. So if you want absolute bliss, then start your affirmation. Nothing exists. Nothing belongs to me. Look at the world as if you are in deep sleep and leap out of this world. Be the sky. Let the world go on rolling like clouds. No matter how many clouds, no matter how many storms, the sky is not going to be shaken, cannot be tainted. And so, as the sky, smile. And with this, we conclude for now. Om Ram 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 Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om. Prayer for shower of Karuna, Ameras, grace of God over all, with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukmuva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Mritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat.